Hello and welcome to Content Marketing Insider powered by Repurpose.io. I am Roy Garcia. We want to thank you for joining us. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about how to maximize audience impact by repurposing content across different platforms. You do not want to miss this episode. My guest for this episode, well, he is the owner of Risen Media. And check this out. I love what they do. They fix broken brands and enhance business success through social media strategies. Well, let's face it, we need help in bringing our businesses to the level we need to get to. And this person is going to be the one that will help us out. Please help me welcome Jeffrey Lawrence. Jeffrey, welcome to Content Marketing Insider.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Roy. Thank you for having me on. It's a real pleasure.
So before we go to the topic, I want to know more about you. What is Risen Media and how do you help fix broken businesses, as you say?
So I came from a bit of a business growth background, and then I was very fortunate. I had a stint on YouTube originally, working for a private company out here in Montreal called Valnet. They're wonderful. Gave me the first shot in the YouTube world. And I was very fortunate to be able to manage, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, a channel called The Richest and a few others. And then parted ways at the height of COVID. And then I went back into the business world, which is what I knew. And when I was doing a lot of different research, looking at different ways to expose brands, build brands, started picking up some private clients along the way in terms of YouTube and helping them to grow.
Let's get into the topic, maximize audience impact by repurposing content across different platforms. And we've got three things to talk to you guys about. The first one is total market cap. What do you mean by that? Total market cap, Jeff?
Okay, so total market cap is a little more of a finance term. It's not that fancy. It just means the maximum amount of people that would actually be open to your content, right? And so one of the inherent challenges that I found very consistently is that more often than not, people will have a preference, even if they have all of them, they'll tend to prefer to stick the majority of their time on one or two major platforms. So say, for example, like if you have like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok on your phone, you more than likely really spend 80, 90% of your time on like one or two of them, right? However, what you would find is that other people who have the exact same interests as you, just maybe on a different platform. I'll give you a really concrete example of this, okay? The amount of times that my wife has sent me the exact same Insta reel that I saw months ago on TikTok. And I'm really happy that she sends it. I'm also really happy that it confirms that this is a really good business idea, because we'll both find the same piece of content really funny. We're both in that same demographic, that market cap or that maximum amount of viewers. Had they not decided to repurpose their content and put it on the platform, they would have missed out on a bare minimum of 50% of your audience. So what that means is your viewership, just on not having on two platforms, is minimum, you're losing 50%. If you calculate there's about 4 or 5 social media platforms, you're losing out on like 75%, almost minimum of your maximum amount of people that would be open to your content. Watch this actually gets far more consistently interesting. If you are a brand creator and you're looking for either maximum views from the AdSense, and there's a ton of other things we can help you with growing that way, or you're looking for maximum business exposure from your ads, or like to give your clients or your business service, whatever it is, short form content is not only is it not going away, but there's two platforms right now that are doing something really interesting. So right now, Forbes just came out with an article about TikTok, how they do kind of like heating. TikTok will actually manually push videos out. Like it's people behind that make some decisions. They claim it's only like 0.2% of the videos on the For You page, but who knows? I don't know about you guys. I'm not really a good gambler. I like to take as much risk out of the equation as I possibly can. So even if there's a small chance that I have it going viral just by pushing a button that you guys offer and you can automatically send that content out there, yeah, I'm going to take that shot. It costs me virtually nothing, and it'll cost you virtually nothing too. And YouTube right now has changed over their algorithm. YouTube used to obviously naturally be a little bit behind TikTok. Most importantly, they've changed their whole algorithm right now, where they are going to now start sending out your long form content directly to your short form audience fans. Now you can get a maximum market exposure. The ability to repurpose content is nothing new, right? Hollywood does this. It's the same reason why they have a new movie that's the same title every almost 20 years, generational, because they're trying to attract the maximum amount of market cap. And every time they do that, they get some old fans and some new fans. So am I saying that you're going to blow up on all these different platforms? No, you may not. But worst case scenario, say, for example, you build some fans and then they're like, you know what? I like you on TikTok, but I really want your long form content. They're going to come over. I think there's a lot of opportunity to get the maximum amount of audience, especially if you can get on other platforms, because your audience is there. And previously the hitch was it's too expensive. It would take too much time. You'd have to do this manually. Or if you wanted to automate it, it was a major headache.
What I got from what you said is be everywhere as much as you can, because there may be an audience in every social media channel. They may not be in both. Most of the time, they're not. We do have certain preferences. Most people would rather go Instagram because they like the vibe. Some people go to Pinterest because they love that. But it's about your brand being in all of these places, because you'll never know who's going to discover you.
That's a really good point. And actually, to show you how powerful this is and how serious, like, major well-known businesses take this. Most of your audience is pretty savvy. I don't know if you know this. If I were to ask you, what's McDonald's business model? The vast majority of people would instinctively think, well, it's like burgers or fries or something like that. And it's not true. It's real estate. McDonald's is the largest real estate holder. And if I'm not mistaken, all of the US, maybe larger, but one of the biggest reasons they're so successful is because they're everywhere, right? Whereas a lot of the other people aren't. So if you're everywhere, it just gives you the most brand exposure. Watch this. If you happen to own a service or a brand, typically in traditional marketing, if someone clicks on your brand and they don't buy from you, you just lost money. That's just part of your financial plan, right? However, here, you still may have gained a follower and you're still technically getting paid to produce that. And especially if you follow, you get a little bit more along the road and you go through like the buyer journey, you can make content specifically for them at each stage of the buyer journey. And you'll build a phenomenal amount of trust, and your closing ratio not only goes higher, but you get more inbound leads from it and you're paid for it. It would have taken you like an entire team of tech developers and then social media brand experts in order to build what you guys have done, which is why I am hard selling you guys try repurpose.io.
So the second point that Jeff wants to make based on this topic is there's difficulty in multiple platforms. Did I say that correctly?
No, that's a very good point. The difficulty in using different platforms is every platform natively has slightly different rules. Truthfully, they also have a slightly different audience. So in an absolutely ideal world, like, you would make slightly different content for each one. And frankly, repurpose.io, because you can kind of clip different things, you have the ability to do it natively in your platform, which is one of the things that I like. You can also edit it in different places. If you were to try and put different content on different places, they all have slightly different algorithms, slightly different nuances, slightly different formats, slightly different lengths. And sometimes they change. And because they change so often that it's so hard to keep up with, if you were going to do this, you would manually have to pay someone like an hourly rate, salary, whatever it is, to keep up and follow the rules, the guidelines, the whatever, the tags, how you can use it. Whereas here, it's a workflow, right? You upload it, right? An outsourced company that you don't have to be hands-on with takes care of the entire process. I use this in almost all of my brands. I've known about Repurpose for like, I don't know, 6-7 months. This is quite impressive that someone else takes care of all this, at least for my brands, my partners' brands, and any clients that we have. We absolutely love it.
What we're saying to businesses is that it's one thing to create content. It's another to distribute that. And oftentimes it is a manual, tedious process because you have to do things differently and all of that. But what you mentioned is that you need to find a way to efficiently do that as streamlined as possible so that you can win back the time that you have.
That's right. Especially if you're a small creator, if you're a solopreneur, especially if you're not used to creating content, it's phenomenal because your time is worth so much. And if you are managing multiple brands or you're managing a cash cow channel, you really care about how much your time is worth, because the more time you can put into, there's some very common mistakes that a lot of brands make. And the more time you can put into fixing those individuals, and the more time you can outsource to a trusted partner to be able to get you the results on the distribution side, you're going to be able to grow your brand overall.
And this already ties up to the first point, because the first point you made is you do the best that you can to be in all the social media platforms as much as you can so that you can be discovered. But it's difficult to be discovered if the creation of the content is tedious enough. So to be everywhere all the same time with the content, it's quite a daunting task. But businesses need to find efficient ways to not just be in every social media platform, but that when they create a content, they just do one content and it has to be distributed everywhere.
That's exactly it. I'm a big fan of growing on YouTube first and then repurposing into different places afterwards. But it doesn't mean you can't get discovered. Say, for example, like there's a big trend right now. If you have a large following on TikTok, throw it over onto YouTube Shorts. And YouTube right now is actively incentivizing, they were the last couple of months, to get new creators on. They got a new creator fund. If you're only on one brand, you're losing out on at least 75% chance that you're going to get discovered on another one.
Let's do a little recap here. On the first part, Jeff mentioned that do the best that you can to be in every social media platform that's available out there. So don't just be in one channel, be in all channels that you believe your audience is, because I'm sure they're going to discover you one way or the other. The second one is finding a suitable and efficient way of distributing your content, because it is expensive to do that. And we're not just talking about money, we're talking more importantly about your time. Find a way to distribute one piece of content and having that spread out to all the other platforms that you are part of. Third point, there are other options in the market. I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. What are these options?
The one option I've already kind of probably really sold you out of doing already is that you go and build it yourself, which at least where I am, you can get different code bases, but it would be like 150 to 500, 600 grand to be able to build this out. The other options that you have is you can generally, there's so different really good options out there for editing. If you had a piece of content, you just want to size it down, trim it down, whatever it is. I use DaVinci Resolve. I love it. And it's a free platform to use. It's wonderful. If you're just starting out, it's excellent. It's also Adobe After. There's a ton of different stuff by Adobe. Like there's a lot of virtual assistants nowadays, especially from COVID. Your other options in the market, you could pay anyone somewhere from about $5 to $10 to post, to cut down your video. You'd probably be a little bit longer if you had a longer piece of video, but it would still take your time because you still have to tell them where to cut, right? And then they're going to cut it down. It's going to take them a little bit of time. You could probably pay someone like, I don't know, $5, $10 to do that. Maybe even $3 if you really go on to the bottom. So let's just do a quick tally. So say $5 is an average to do that. And then say you pay someone another $5 to post it per platform, right? Say you want to be on all the big four of them. Now you're putting up your same piece of content and it's going to cost you $20. So one piece of content is going to cost you about on average $20 to put up on all the different platforms. That way you don't have to manage it. Now, from experience, this is what I found. You also then have to manage each individual person. Maybe you're lucky you get one person. You can kind of squeeze down your cost per doing on the platform. You still got to manage that person. It's still going to take some of your time. Some freelancers are great, but not all of them are. Not all of them are going to come through on time. You still have to explain this. They may still have questions that you're going to have to follow up on. That's still taking your time. So best case scenario, you're looking at maybe $10 per video of yours. I don't really hard selling you on Repurpose. Quite frankly, it's just because I've done the math. And those are the other options that I found. Outside of that, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. But I'm really happy that I found you guys. It's made a huge difference in my business and the business of my partners.
I think scaling is important when a business starts to grow. I think everybody starts somewhere sometime, and it's usually just themselves, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, it's good that like we talked about it, that we need to figure out where our audience is. And most of the time it's everywhere. So be in every platform that you can possibly be, and then find a system that works for you so that you can maximize that. But there's going to be a time wherein you have to bring in more of your effort and your time in navigating the business to where you need to be, and leave the daily routinary things on the side. Like what you said earlier, now that you already have this system in place, it's now finding the right person to do that for you while you put more of your effort to the business.
That's a big advantage. There's so many different components that come in. This is a distribution problem. When you're trying to get more distribution, because on a cash flow or cash cow channel, you just want more cash flow, right? You want the AdSense, you want the affiliate marketing, you want the brand sponsorship merch. There's a billion different things you can do. Or you're trying to build up your brand over here because not only do you want those things, but you also want clients, right? That should be your main focus. The human component and dealing with them and dependability, it can get quite tough, especially as you scale. One person, okay, fine, you're more likely to handle that, but scaling of that option becomes exponentially harder. So having a software that can run it for you, and then you can just have like one person manage it. It's a big lever point. Some of my clients, like if you have a big backlog of catalog of content, one really useful way that at least I found to use the platform is just go through it, pick out the best parts, or have someone go through it, pick out the best parts, and then just re-upload them onto Repurpose. And then you can just repurpose that content and then throw it out to all the different platforms. I'm a big fan of taking away risks that I don't have to have. The least amount of risk that I can have, or the more that I can eliminate, and the more chances I can give either myself, my clients, my brands that I'm working with, chance to really pop off. all the better.
Hey, Jeff, we're learning a lot, so much from you. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners would want to start doing this. And we're going to put some more links at the description so you can get in touch with Jeff if you think that he's a fit for your business. I'm sure he can help you out. But Jeff, in closing, if someone is watching right now and they're in that middle of, I think my business needs this, whatever they're talking about, what would you advise them? What would you tell them? What would be the immediate thing that they would need to do today?
I don't think this is going to come to a shock to anyone who's listened or stuck around for the whole podcast. I'm naturally and going to be almost even pushy on this. Go sign up, give it a shot. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word on anything that I've said today. Give it a shot. It's what sold me on the platform. I took a look at it with one of my partners a while ago. We tested it out about 5 months ago and never looked back since, and just has started transferring the vast majority of all my other clients over to it. I don't know if it's a 14-day trial or not, but definitely go take a look at it, give it a shot. There's a ton of different videos up there. One of the things, and I really have a background in software sales too, that I'm sometimes apprehensive about is the platform user-friendly, is it intuitive? And one of the things that I liked about this is not only is it intuitive, but this may be my favorite. You have explainer videos. You don't have to worry about like, shoot, did I mess this up? Then you can pause it and go back and forth. But it's been absolutely wonderful. I really do love the platform. Grateful for the opportunity to be on here. And I'm very grateful for Roy for setting this up and allowing me to be here. Very grateful for Logan, who originally reached out. And thank you so much for Hanny for being the one to organize this, bring it together, and to be open to bringing community members on who can share the experience on the platform that they love so much. So thank you guys.
And with that, we want to thank Jeffrey Lawrence of Risen Media for just basically sharing a boatload of information. And guys, don't just listen, go ahead and apply it. Go do it right now. Get on those social media platforms and sign up for repurpose.io. And I'm sure it's going to help you out. Again, thank you so much for joining us here at Content Marketing Insider, powered by repurpose.io. And this is Roy Garcia. We'll see you again next time.